Hi, this is John Beef with Let's Talk Outdoors and Go Fish Magazine with the weekly fish recipe. I'm here to show you how to make a Pacific Northwest 3-egg omelet. Now, what would be in a Pacific Northwest omelet? Well, the first thing is a nice bit of coho salmon caught locally. The second thing would be some Tillamook, Oregon, Monterey Jack. And this is wonderful cheese. You could also use the white aged cheddar from Tillamook. It's wonderful. Here are some chanterelle mushrooms, and these mushrooms are locally harvested mushrooms. They're wonderful. You can get these at your Safeway. If you live outside of the Pacific Northwest and can't find these mushrooms, simply use whatever mushrooms you have on hand. A little bit of fresh grown rosemary to add some flavor. Now, this is to your taste. You don't have to add it, but I like tomatoes, and these are nice locally grown tomatoes. And then Walla Walla sweet onions. If you caramelize these before you make the omelet, and I'm going to show you how, it's wonderful. A little bit of butter, of course, and we're going to use 1 tablespoon of milk per egg, and that would be 3 tablespoons. The first thing that we have to do is take the skin off of the salmon. I'm going to use my Gatco ceramic knife. This is their Cape Cod ceramic series, and it's not very flexible, but it's very sharp. I'm going to see how it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get underneath of that skin and just slice along, holding it down, because I've got to get that skin off. And it seems to be working quite well. And there you have it. I did not leave much meat. Now I have to cut some pieces of salmon that I'm going to put in my pan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them fairly thin on the bias. Boy, this ceramic knife is really sharp. Works wonderful. Because I want these to cook fairly quickly. And depending on how you like your omelet, you can either have a little bit more of the salmon or a little bit less, but this is certainly enough to do 2 omelets, that little piece that I had there. So there we have it. Let's get the pan on the burner. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is put my butter in the pan. I'm going to follow up with a little rosemary and a little pepper. Yeah, this is my pepper, cool shaker. Get those onions in there to caramelize. Got to get these mushrooms in there. Get that all going. This is going to take about 2-3 minutes. While I'm doing that, letting that caramelize, I'm going to mix my eggs. Salmon in. This is going to be a delicious, thick omelet. Lots of nice Pacific Northwest salmon. is getting nice and pink. I'm going to put the egg in just before it's fully done, because it will continue to cook while the egg is cooking. It smells so good. I'm going to add just a little more pepper. The pepper brings out the flavor in these mushrooms. Onions are starting to get caramelized and the salmon is cooking. I've got this on a medium heat. And if you're wondering what this pretty green pan is, it's an organics pan. I bought it on one of those TV commercials. I absolutely love this pan. It doesn't have the Teflon, which is proved to be not so healthy for you. And now it looks like it's about time to put the egg in. I'm going to cover it right now. Let that cook a little bit. That'll take a few minutes. Now comes the tricky part, trying to flip the omelet. Add cheese. We'll save some for on top as well. Not the prettiest omelet in the world, but it's because it has so much stuff. That is delicious. Those chanterelle mushrooms combined with the cheese and the salmon and everything is just wonderful. Tune in next week for another fish recipe. I'm going to do smoked salmon hash browns. It's something you gotta try. For Let's Talk Outdoors and Go Fish Magazine, my name is John Beeth. I'll see you next week.